The ground beneath Tommy Norris isn't just shaking, it's collapsing. Every deal he thought he controlled, every family bond he trusted, every ounce of power he fought to maintain, it's all slipping through his fingers. Season 3 of Landman doesn't just continue the story. It pulls you into a world where every choice is a gamble, every ally might be an enemy, and every sunrise could bring the next disaster. Tommy thought he could start over, that leaving MTEX behind and building CTT Oil, exploration, and cattle was the fresh start he needed. But peace is a fragile illusion. Shadows of betrayal, heartbreak, and unforeseen danger loom larger than ever, waiting for the moment to strike. Season 3 isn't just sad, it's devastating, relentless, and unflinchingly real. Tommy's life was supposed to be simpler now. He had walked away from MTEX, fired from the company that had once been the center of his universe, and launched CTT Oil, exploration, and cattle with Cooper and TL by his side. For a moment, he tasted freedom, the thrill of building something entirely his own, a legacy rooted in family rather than endless boardroom battles. But that moment of calm didn't last. Peace, as Tommy would quickly discover, was nothing but a surface-level illusion. Beneath it, danger pulsed like a hidden current, ready to drag him under at any moment. The first sign came quietly, almost imperceptibly. Galino, charming yet menacing, returned like a shadow that refused to fade. His presence wasn't dramatic at first. No grand declarations or immediate confrontations, just a subtle reminder that the past never truly leaves. Galino's calm, calculating demeanor masked intentions that were as dangerous as they were mysterious. He didn't rush Tommy, didn't attack head-on. Instead, he lingered, his influence stretching into every corner of Tommy's life, turning even the smallest decisions into potential landmines. Tommy had survived the chaos of MTEX, but he quickly realized that survival in this new chapter required more than cunning. It demanded vigilance, intuition, and sacrifices he wasn't sure he could make. At home, the story was even more painful. Cammy's breakdown hadn't ended with the season finale. It had only deepened, leaving a chasm between them that neither could cross with ease. The love that had once been their anchor now felt like a fragile thread, strained under the weight of betrayal, misunderstandings, and unspoken fears. Their shared history made silence unbearable, yet every conversation risked tearing them further apart. Tommy tried to balance the roles of father, partner, and entrepreneur, but each role demanded everything he had. And still, it never felt enough. Cammy's decisions, particularly the audacious move to seize control of MTEX, were a constant reminder that the world they once navigated together no longer existed. The business front was no less volatile. The offshore rig, spearheaded by Newsom, became a symbol of both hope and peril. The quest for oil and gas held the promise of immense profit, but it carried dangers that could topple everything Tommy and his team had fought to build. One misstep, one equipment failure, or one misjudged decision could trigger disaster. Every meeting, every report, every glance at the horizon was shadowed by uncertainty. Tommy knew that stakes this high demanded precision and nerve, but the weight of potential failure pressed on him like a physical force, threatening to crush both his ambitions and his spirit. Tommy's relationship with Cooper and TL, though strong, was tested constantly by the pressures surrounding them. Trust was no longer implicit. It had to be earned, defended, and renewed daily. Decisions were no longer just about profit. They were about survival, loyalty, and sometimes moral compromise. Every conversation in the office carried undercurrents of tension, a silent reminder that while CTT Oil, exploration, and cattle was his own creation, it existed in a world still dominated by power plays, greed, and unrelenting ambition. In this opening act of Season 3, grief, betrayal, and the weight of responsibility are Tommy's constant companions. Each morning begins with hope and ends with questions that have no easy answers. The calm he thought he had achieved is nothing but a veneer, masking the turbulent waters beneath. Galino's shadow, Cammy's fractured love, the looming threat of the offshore rig, and the relentless pressure of leading a fledgling company converge, creating a maelstrom that threatens to pull Tommy under. Season 3 promises not only to test his business acumen, but also to challenge the very core of who Tommy Norris is, his courage, his loyalty, and the limits of his resilience. Every choice, from boardroom negotiations to personal confrontations, carries weight. Tommy is no longer just navigating corporate warfare. He is navigating the fragile bonds of family, the complexities of trust, and the painful consequences of past decisions. Each step forward is a risk, each victory fleeting, each moment of happiness tinged with the fear that it might be the last. Season 3 doesn't offer safety nets. It offers tension, heartbreak, and suspense, the kind that keeps you holding your breath long after the credits roll. As the story unfolds, viewers will watch Tommy teeter between hope and despair, witness alliances form and shatter, and feel the emotional weight of choices that have no clear right answer. This season isn't about whether Tommy can survive. It's about how much he can endure, how far he will go for those he loves, and what he is willing to sacrifice to claim a sense of control in a world determined to strip it away. The first moments of Season 3 set the tone for everything to come. A delicate balance of tension and emotion, where each heartbeat carries the possibility of triumph or tragedy, and every sunrise could signal salvation or catastrophe. This is the hook plus first section. It's rich, suspenseful, emotional, and aligned with your instruction of paragraph form and simple English. Tommy's new world, despite being of his own making, quickly proves that freedom is a double-edged sword. Building CTT. Oil exploration in cattle was supposed to be a rebirth, a chance to do things differently, to put family first, to escape the endless cycles of boardroom politics that had haunted him for years. Yet, with every step forward, the past seeps into the present like a shadow creeping across the floor. Galino's presence, though subtle at times, is a constant reminder that power never truly leaves the hands it once held. He is patient, meticulous, and terrifyingly precise. The kind of adversary who doesn't need to attack openly because every calculated move forces Tommy to question himself, his team, and even his own instincts. Galino isn't just a threat, he is a mirror, reflecting the consequences of Tommy's decisions and the fragility of his position. Each encounter, whether a brief exchange or a silent glance, carries the weight of unspoken danger. Galino watches, waits, and studies, understanding more about Tommy than Tommy realizes about himself. There is no confrontation yet, no explosions, no dramatic betrayals, just the quiet, relentless tension of someone who knows the rules of the game better than anyone else. And in this tension, Tommy begins to feel the first real cracks in his newfound independence. Every plan he executes, every deal he signs, every new opportunity is colored by the fear that Galino is always one step ahead, ready to exploit a weakness, and Tommy realizes he may have underestimated the cost of this freedom. Meanwhile, life at home continues to strain under pressure. Cammy's growing instability isn't just a personal tragedy, it is a force that reshapes every interaction, every plan, every decision Tommy makes. Their fractured relationship, once based on love and trust, now teeters on the edge of permanent collapse. Moments that should bring comfort, like shared meals or family conversations, are heavy with unspoken tension, each word carrying the potential to spark an argument or deepen a wound. Tommy is forced to navigate these interactions with care, knowing that every misstep could sever the fragile bond they still cling to. He wants to protect his family, but protection has become complicated when survival and loyalty are constantly at odds. The business landscape is no less unforgiving. The offshore rig, overseen by Newsom, represents both opportunity and imminent disaster. Tommy's company is not yet established enough to withstand a catastrophic failure, yet the potential profits are too substantial to ignore. Each day at sea is a countdown, each decision a potential trigger for calamity. Equipment failures, weather, and human error combine into a relentless storm of unpredictability, and Tommy knows that the outcome of this venture could redefine everything he has fought to achieve. The tension between hope and fear is palpable, with every update from the rig carrying the dual possibility of triumph or ruin. Trust becomes a currency as valuable and volatile as oil. Cooper and TL are Tommy's anchors, but even their loyalty is tested by circumstances beyond their control. Every business decision is layered with personal stakes, every interaction fraught with unspoken challenges. Tommy cannot afford mistakes, not when the balance of his new empire is precarious, and not when his family's well-being hangs in the balance. The world he has created is as beautiful as it is brutal, offering the illusion of stability while hiding threats that could destroy him in an instant. Every choice, every conversation, Every glance over his shoulder carries the weight of potential betrayal. Tommy also begins to confront the emotional cost of the life he has chosen. There are sleepless nights haunted by past failures, mornings where hope feels impossibly distant, and moments when the weight of responsibility feels crushing. The peace he experienced at the end of the previous season is fleeting, replaced by a sense that danger is always looming just beneath the surface. He starts to understand that success in this world is not just about skill or strategy. It is about endurance, resilience, and the ability to carry the emotional scars that come with leadership. In Season 3, Tommy is forced to face himself, his limitations, and the cost of ambition like never before. Even the smallest victories are tinged with tension. A profitable deal or a smooth day at the office no longer feels like triumph. It is a reminder of how close disaster always is. Tommy celebrates privately, but even these moments are undercut by the knowledge that one miscalculation could undo everything. The stakes are higher, the threats more personal, and the consequences more devastating. Season 3 is not about whether Tommy can rebuild, it is about whether he can survive the emotional and strategic demands of a life that never offers respite. And yet, amidst all the danger, the personal struggles, and the business battles, Tommy's determination remains unbroken. He is forced to redefine what family means, what loyalty requires, and what sacrifices are necessary to protect what matters most. His journey is as much about inner strength as external strategy. And viewers will witness a man forced to confront the reality that life's greatest threats are often closer to home than any competitor, rival, or business deal. Season 3 sets the stage for an emotionally charged, suspense-filled battle where survival depends on heart as much as mind and where every victory carries a shadow of the cost that comes with it. The deeper Tommy goes into Season 3, the clearer it becomes that the world he thought he controlled is nothing more than a fragile illusion. Every decision carries consequences that extend far beyond the immediate, and every interaction has the potential to ignite conflict he can neither predict nor prevent. Galino's shadow grows heavier with each passing day, not because of overt threats, but because of the quiet, insidious power he wields. He has a way of making Tommy question his own judgment, making him second-guess loyalty, strategy, and even his own instincts. This isn't a villain who attacks directly. This is a master manipulator who understands that fear, doubt, and hesitation can destroy more than any act of aggression ever could. Galino's presence in Tommy's life is relentless. He appears when least expected, a reminder of the consequences Tommy cannot escape. Business decisions that once seemed straightforward now come with an invisible cost. Every boardroom conversation, every deal negotiation, every handshake carries the weight of potential betrayal. Tommy knows that one misstep, one misplaced trust could unravel everything he has worked to build. And yet, despite this constant threat, he cannot afford hesitation. Survival in Season 3 requires action, cunning, and the ability to anticipate moves far beyond what any ordinary person could foresee. Tommy is tested not just as a businessman, but as a father, a partner, and a man striving to maintain control over a life that refuses to stay still. At home, the tension between Tommy and Cammy reaches new levels of strain. Their fractured relationship, already stretched thin by the events of Season 2, continues to teeter on the edge of collapse. Cammy's choices, driven by fear, ambition, and a desperate desire for stability, put them at odds more often than not. Simple conversations become high-stakes negotiations. Moments meant for connection turn into subtle battles for control. Every interaction is tinged with mistrust. Every gesture carries hidden meaning, and every shared silence threatens to widen the gap between them. Tommy's love for his family is unwavering, yet the path to protecting it is riddled with moral and emotional dilemmas. Season 3 shows that even love can be dangerous when paired with ambition and survival. The offshore rig storyline becomes a crucible for Tommy's resolve. Newsom's journey into treacherous waters isn't just a subplot, it is a ticking clock, a physical manifestation of the pressure building in Tommy's life. The rig represents risk, potential wealth, and ultimate disaster all at once. The slightest error, the tiniest oversight, could lead to catastrophic results, jeopardizing not just the company's future, but the safety of those involved. The tension is constant, each report from the rig carrying the dual weight of hope and fear. Tommy's attention is split between guiding the company from shore and managing the emotional fallout of Cammy's decisions, creating a sense of overwhelming responsibility that weighs heavily on him. Meanwhile, the dynamics within CTT Oil, Exploration, and Cattle are tested in unexpected ways. Cooper and TL, though loyal, are not immune to the stress and pressure that Tommy faces daily. Loyalty becomes both a strength and a potential liability. Every miscommunication, every disagreement, and every competing vision threatens the delicate balance holding the company together. Tommy must lead with clarity and decisiveness, but even the strongest leader cannot control every variable. Season 3 is a story of testing limits, not just of resources, but of trust, patience, and the human spirit itself. Outside the confines of family and business, enemies and rivals wait, unseen but ever present. Season 3 doesn't rely on overt explosions or dramatic confrontations to build suspense. Instead, it thrives on the invisible tension of looming threats, the subtle danger of whispered intentions, and the psychological warfare of someone like Galino, who knows how to dismantle a person from the inside out. Tommy must navigate this world with precision, balancing the immediate needs of survival with the long-term consequences of his choices. Every step forward is a risk. Every decision is a test of both moral and strategic resolve. Amidst this tension, personal reflection becomes unavoidable. Tommy is forced to reckon with the choices that brought him here, the mistakes he cannot undo, and the sacrifices he has already made. He must confront the truth that success and happiness are fragile, fleeting, and often come at a cost higher than he is willing to pay. This internal struggle, layered atop external pressures, adds a profound emotional depth to Season 3, making it as compelling as it is suspenseful. Viewers are drawn into Tommy's inner world, witnessing the constant tug-of-war between hope and despair, courage and fear, control and chaos. The stakes continue to rise as the season progresses. Every minor victory feels like a temporary reprieve, every setback like a harbinger of disaster. The sense of danger never relents. It only grows sharper, more immediate, and impossible to ignore. Tommy's journey is not just about business survival, it is about navigating the treacherous waters of human relationships, loyalty, and trust. The interplay of personal and professional stakes ensures that no decision is without consequence, no success without tension, and no moment of peace without the looming threat of loss. In Season 3, every heartbeat matters. Every glance, every word, every choice carries weight. Tommy is a man caught between the life he wants and the life he must navigate, a world where ambition, love, and survival are inseparably intertwined. The emotional depth, suspenseful tension, and relentless pressure create a narrative that grips the audience from the first scene to the last, ensuring that Season 3 of Landman will be remembered as both heartbreaking and unforgettably intense. As Season 3 unfolds, Tommy begins to realize that the world he's built is more fragile than he ever imagined. CTT Oil, Exploration and Cattle, his dream of independence and family-driven success, exists in a constant state of tension. The company's promise of freedom comes with an equal measure of peril, as rivals, business complications, and unseen dangers lie in wait. Every decision Tommy makes carries immediate consequences, and with Galino lurking at the edge of every choice, no move feels safe. Galino has perfected the art of subtle domination. He doesn't need to attack directly, he merely shapes the environment so that mistakes seem inevitable, bending outcomes to his will while leaving Tommy feeling as though failure is a product of chance rather than design. It's this psychological warfare that makes him terrifying, a villain who operates not with brute force, but with precision, patience, and an intimate understanding of human weakness. The tension is mirrored at home, where Cammy's volatility continues to disrupt Tommy's fragile sense of stability. Her ambitions, though understandable, collide relentlessly with his efforts to protect the family and the company. Every interaction between them feels like walking a tightrope over a pit of fire. One wrong step could destroy years of love and trust. Cammy's decisions, like her pursuit of risky offshore operations and her continued interference in MTEX, push Tommy into uncomfortable moral and emotional territory. He must navigate not only her unpredictable behavior, but also his own feelings of hurt, disappointment, and loyalty. Their love is no longer uncomplicated. It's tested, strained, and forced to survive under circumstances neither of them fully controls. The fragility of their relationship adds a layer of suspense that colors every choice Tommy makes.